everyone. This is a coursework for signals and systems. And this is the assignment for week 1. So just let me take the first question. First question is, what is the value of j sin h of x? And there are 4 options given: sin of jx, cos of jx, j cos of hx, and d j of sin of x. So let me solve it. Step by step. So the thing is, we can write sin of x as follows: a to the power jx minus a to the power minus jx by 2j and so sin of jx will be a to the power j square x minus a to the power minus j square x by 2j, that is equivalent to a to the power minus x minus e to the power x by 2j. So sine of jx minus 1 by j minus 1 by j e to the power x minus e to the power minus x by 2. So sine of jx minus 1 by j sine of hx. So this is the correct option. Now let us move to the second question. So hello everyone. So just start the assignment from the second question. So the next question is, what is the value of cos h of x? There are 4 options. First one is cos of x, second one is cos of jx, third one is sine of x, fourth one is minus sine of x. So okay, is there any response from the audience side? So let me do it. Is cos of x, and from the Euclid's formula we can write it as following: plus e to the power minus jx by 2. Similarly, cos of jx can be written as e to the power minus j square x, sorry, this minus is not here, just plus e to the power minus j square x by 2. So value of cos of jx, this can be written as e to the power minus x plus e to the power x by 2. So this is the formula for cos of hx. So correct option is option B. Is there any query from the audience side? I think my voice is audible here. Anyway, let us go through the question number 3. Question number 3 says, if u of t is the continuous time So the question is, ut, we know that is a continuous time unit step function. So this is the continuous time unit step function as time goes. So we have to say what is the nature of, if we do a integration from minus infinity to t interval of a unit step function, and if we do a derivation of the unit step function, what will be the outcomes. So there are three possible choices: impulse function, ramp function, or step function. So this can be a ramp or step function or impulse function. Similarly, this can also be an impulse function and function step function. So tell me about what will be the characteristics of this function and what will be the characteristics of this function. Okay, so let me solve it. So intuitive type of thing. So this is a unit step function and it goes to infinite. So from minus infinite to t, if we do integration for this portion, there is no signal values. So even if we do integration over a 0, it will remain 0. So let me draw it here. So if we do the integration of this signal, that is ut minus infinite to t, let me draw it in a better way. So the question was, this is the signal ut, and we have to say what will be the integration of that signal. So if we do the integration over this, from this minus infinite region to this, it will not give anything, because the signal value itself ut is 0 for minus infinite to 0 for this range. So there will be no values here, but from this point there will be a sharp increase, because this integration, it will be integrated over this region, and as much as more time we take, this will give an integration value like this. So basically it is doing integration of 1 over t dt. So take 0 to t dt. So this will be t. So t is a ramp function. So this, if it is t, then at each value, what will be the value of t? It will be same value at y-axis. So this is t1 and this is t1. Similarly, in this region, it will be t2 if it is t2. If this distance is t2, this will be also t2. The first one answer will be, this will be a ramp function. Similarly, from the intuition, if we just do a differentiation, so see, if we do a differentiation, what is the differentiation point here? The ut starts from particular point t equal to 0. So, and then it again becomes constant. So the differentiation values will be 0 in this point, because there is no change of the function value here, and also there is no change after t equal to 0. So only change happens from t equal to 0 minus to t equal to 0 plus. Only small region, that is a very small region. So what will happen in this region? It will be an impulse function, that is del of t, because at t equal to 0 it will only have the value, otherwise it is constant 0. The derivative means what? The change with respect to time. There is nothing change in respect to time from minus infinite to 0 minus region, and also from 0 plus to infinite region. So for all this region, the value will be 0. Only it will have a value, a sharp impulse at t equal to 0. So that is only x plus h, 0 plus h, and minus x of 0 minus h, this small region. and h tends to 0. So that is a impulse function. So this is a impulse function. I think it is clear for everybody. So if anybody has any question, they can ask me. Otherwise, I move to the next question. Okay, the next question number 4. Question number 4 is a easy question. Just you have to do an integration, and I have to tell me what is the value of this integration. 1 by 1 plus alpha squared d alpha. And what is the value of this? First option is pi by 2, option 2 is pi by 4, and 3 pi by 2. Okay, so we know that it's very easy. So what happens if the function is 1 by 1 plus alpha squared? If we do the integration, it is the integration of tan inverse alpha function. So similarly, it will be tan inverse alpha from the value 0 to 1. So that is tan inverse 1 minus tan inverse 0, and the value is pi by 4. Because this is pi by 4, this is 0. Now let us move to the fifth question. Fifth question is, if two registers R1 and R2 are in parallel, then if Req is the effective resistance, and there are 4 options. First one is Req is greater than maximum of R1, R2. 2 is Req is less than minimum of R1 and R2. Option C is Req is minimum that maximum of R1 comma R2. Option D is REQ is greater than of minimum of R1 comma R2. Okay, so what is the effective resistance if the electric resistance is reversal 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 and whole inverse? So that is R1 R2 by R1 plus R2, right? So now just take a example. Suppose the values is 2 and 3. So what is their equivalent resistance? Is 2 into 3 by 2 plus 3. That is 6 by 5. That is 1.2. Right? So 1.2 is always less than 2 and 3. Next, take another example, 3 and 4, or you want to take 10 and 4. Just take one is very large, another is very small. So it will be 10 into 4 by 10 plus 4. The 40 by 14. It's near around to the value 3. So anyways, whatever value you take, it will remain smaller than both of the resistors. Alright. So the correct option is it should be minimum less than the minimum of R1 and R2. Because the reason is R equivalent we are taking is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So we just see the total value will always come lesser than these values because of this inverse relationship. So equivalent resistance will always decrease than the particular resistances. Now let us go to the sixth question. Anyway, anybody has any query about it, you can write in the chat box. Let me write. Also, Suraj had asked same question. We get alpha is equal to beta, then which one alpha equal to beta? Can you repeat it once, like particular question number if you can tell. Question number 4. I may know what is the question. alpha can be replaced by beta, like it is 0 to 1, 1 by 1 plus beta square. You are asking this one. We are asking like that. Like this, whatever I have written here. Is this your question? It does not depend on the particular variable, like if it is d beta. It is the answer will be same, pi by 4 if it is 1 by 1 plus beta square. I think it is clear for you. Okay, just let me type the question number 6 right now. So please, anybody, if you have any query, just try to make your mic on and just comment, otherwise I have to check the comment box again and again. The next question is also a very easy question. This question is limit of x tends to 0 and x to the power x. What is the value? 1 b 0, c infinite, d undefined. Yes, x to the power x only, I think. Let's check here. Okay, let me solve it. So limit of x tends to 0 and x to the power x, that you can write as exponential limit of x tends to 0 log of x to the power x, because this is the particular formula, x is equal to e to the power log x. So exponential and log cancel out, they are the inverse functions, so it remains x. That is the simple relationship. That relationship is being used here, and then we can write exponential limit x tends to 0 log of x log x, because this log function is here and it is taking out like this, and then I can write it as exponential limit x tends to 0 log of x and 1 by x. And now use the L'Hospital's rule. Gives 1 by x, derivation of log x is 1 by x, and derivation of 1 by x is minus 1 by x square. L'Hospital's rule. And this is exponential limit of x tends to 0 minus x. This is 0 to 0 and this is 1. So according to the question, the correct option is 1. Okay, so let us move to the next question. Just check it. The next question says that we have a unit step function ut that is matrix multiplied tail of 3t is equal to what? So this is 0.25 del t, 0.33 ut, option A, option B. This is 0.33 del t, and option D is 0.25 ut. Okay, so as I described earlier, this del t is nothing but a function that is situated at t equals to 0, and it says if I do an integration of del t from 0 minus to 0 plus, 0 minus to 0 plus over t, it will give me a value of 1. Now just see in the question, it says it is 3t. So what happens? It is more narrower in this case. So from the shifting property del of 3t, we can write this has the same amplitude. This del 3t is, I mean, if for the del t it is from minus 0.00000001 to 0. A physical intuition, if you want to see in this range, then this 3t becomes 3 to 3. So similarly, if we do the integration over a small region, it will be 1 by 3 of del t. This is the scaling factor, right? So we just substitute it here, ut into 1 by 3 del t. So this value is 1 by 3 and ut is this. So if we multiply two functions, let me draw the ut like this with the red function, this red one. So the effective thing will be within this region only, because at t equal to 0 it will remain, because other places del t has value of 0 but ut has value, so something into 0 into some ut is going to be 0, but only the place t equal to 0 has the value of del t and ut also. So this multiplication u of t into del of 3t, u of t into del of 3t is equivalent to u of t into 1 by 3 del of t, and this is equivalent to 1 by 3 del t, because if you multiply something by del t, it always remains del t. This is the reason, because this is only at t equals to 0, and ut can have values from t is equal to 0 to infinite, but anything value that is other than 0 will get multiplied by 0 due to the factor del t. So this will be 1 by 3 del t. So the correct option is option C, 0.33, because 1 by 3 is equal to 0.33. So let us go to the next question. The next question is a basic question, that is Kirchhoff's current law and KVL are based on conversation of the four options. First option is energy and charge, charge and impulse, momentum and charge, charge and electric field. So as discussed in the classes, KCL and KVL is based on conversation of this energy of the total system and also the charge, that is voltage and current. This energy is related to the power, so it is voltage into current. So that is based on charge and energy. Okay, so the last question for today. The last question says we need to find the derivative Is the internet connection working?
Yes.
No, in the desktop LAN.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think my screen is visible again. So the question is, find the derivative of the following function. Okay, just let me solve it. G of alpha is this. So we just simplify it first. That is 10 of alpha to the power 2 by 5 minus alpha to the power 4 plus 6 of alpha to the power 2 by 3 minus 7. So if we do d of g of alpha into d of alpha, it will be 4 alpha to the power minus 3 by 5 minus 4 alpha cube plus 4 of alpha to the power minus 1 by 3. So this is the answer. So the week one is pretty simple for you guys. I hope you have understood all the topics. So anybody has any query about any other question? Okay, question number 7. Question number 7. Let me repeat the question number 7. Okay, u of t into del of 3t. So the main thing here is you have the function del of 3t. So what does it mean? Suppose you have a factor minus 1 to 1 in the basis when you taking the scaling property as t. If it is 3t, this value will go to minus 3 to plus 3. So this is the scaling property. If t takes the value 1 and t takes the value minus 1. So if you see the scaling property of del function, del of 3t is equivalent to 1 by 3 of del of t. This is because the property of del t minus infinite to infinite, that is mainly happens at minus 0, 0 minus to 0 plus values del t equal to 1. So del t has the value between very small region 0 minus to 0 plus. When the scaling property comes, so basically we are stretching the function in wider. So if we are stretching something wider to keep the integration, I mean, just see what it tells, that suppose this is 0 minus and 0 plus, and within this interval it will have a particular value a, and the integration over a dt of 0 minus to 0 plus will be 1. However, so what happens here, the next question, it says it is 3t, so it gets a stretch here, more wider direction. So integration means area under the curve, so the stretch increases. At a time what will happen, it has to decrease the magnitude at that factor. So if I increase it by a factor of 3, del 3t, if I use this at 3 times, it will have, what will happen, the amplitude factor will be 1 by 3 if I take in the del t, just to keep this del t minus infinite to infinite constant equal to 1, just to keep the area under this curve equal to 1. So if we stretch the time axis, we have to decrease the amplitude axis, and what will happen, del of t by 3, that will be 3 of del t, because we are narrowing in this case the time axis. So at that case it will be just getting multiplied by a factor of 3 to keep the integration, the area under this curve equal to 1. So from this equation we can write that del of 3t is 1 by 3 delta t. Is it clear still now? Okay. So now we can write del of 3t equal to 1 by 3 of del t. So del t has the value here, only 1 by 3 del t now, and it is getting multiplied by this ut, but ut has only value in this 0, and del t is also has only this in this 0 axis, I mean in the 0, in the t equal to 0 only. In other values ut has value, ut equal to 1, sorry, ut equal to 1 for t anything value greater than equal to 0, but del t is only 1 for t equals to 0. So any value greater than t greater than for 0, this del t has the value 0. So any value t greater than 0, in this case if I multiplied 1, what will happen, 1 multiplied by 0, and that value will come 0. So this function will be only have a value 1 by 3 del t at t equals to 0, and all the other points the value will be this 0. So the answer was of this question is 1 by 3 del t, that is 0.33 del t. I think it is clear now. And similarly, what is the value of del of 0.5t? It's 1 by, that is 2 times del t. So I think it is clear for everybody. Like, sorry, del of 0.5t, you are just narrowing this t axis by a half factor, so that will definitely going to affect amplitude, so that will be 2 of delta t. So anybody else has any query? Anything related to this, all this query? Even if you have any doubts about integration, differentiation, or any things about these signal systems, except also you can ask me questions from which are not discussed in the assignments, like uh, any conceptual question. Okay, it's fine then. We'll meet in the next Tuesday. Thank you. Cos of x, what is value? Cos of x in the sense cos to the power x, there is nothing like that. Cos to the power x, what you are asking? Cos h of x, cos of h of x is cos of jx. That is the second question. Cos h of x, so basically that is a hypergent cos function. uh, yes, I will provide the link of the record that will be given from the NPTEL site. They will give you the particular link and all these things from the NPTEL site, that will be given. So cos h of x, you can search that function. Cos of h of x of this function is like a hypergent of cos function, so that is e to the power x plus e to the power minus x by 2. What happens in cos x? It is like uh, I say it is mode of circle type of function, that is a Euclidean function, cos of jx and cos of minus x. So always the amplitude, if you take, it will be within -1 to 1, but cos h of x just takes e to the power x plus e to the power minus x by 2 values. That is the difference between, you can search it. How can you show the image as a signal, right? Okay, just just let me try it once. I think it will be easier. So suppose we have something here, and there is a concept like pixels. I think everybody knows pixels. So what happens, we do not process the image as a continuous values type of thing. We just process it with some particular pixel values. So it will have a lot of pixels inside this, and higher the resolutions of these pixels, like I am doing, this is probably just take, we are taking 4 pixels and we are trying to represent the whole frame, so we can say that is a low pixel. And suppose we have a lot of pixels here, like I'm saying here, it is 10 to the power 5 pixels to represent the same type of thing, frame. So it will be a high pixel. Okay, so these particular values of the pixels will have some digital values, and all these digital values will have a particular discrete data set. Suppose we can represent a RGB format. So a pixel can have a red amount of 0.3, green amount of 0.5, and blue of 0.9. So all these values are the signal values for you. These are the signal values. So you are representing the whole pixel with a particular 3-dimensional plot, which each of them have a particular digital value, and this whole pixel is a signal for you, and these pixel values are getting transmitted. So that is how you can represent a particular image in a digital system. And anything you do over this signal is a signal processing side of thing. I mean, you are processing that signal, so that comes under signal and systems. So for the basics, everything here is like till now is continuous value, but whenever we do implement it in a digital system, there are some advantages. We do not go for continuous time type of thing, we just go for digital type of things. and because we have some advantage over digital system, that will be discussed later probably in this coursework also. But just for right now, you just see every pixel value can be represented by a red, green and blue, these three colors, and what is the composition of that particular pixel, and these values are the signals for you. And in this way a image can be represented by a signal. So suppose this is the x value, x can x1, x2 and x of 3, three different values x can take. Okay, cos of jx I have already derived it, right? It is actually cos h of x. I mean, that's the reason here I was telling. See, if you take cos of x, it is actually e to the power jx plus e to the power minus jx by 2. When you are going to take cos h of x, it is actually e to the power minus x plus e to the power x by 2. And from the derivation we have showed that cos h of x is cos of j of x. So that is the difference, cos of x and cos of h of x. That is, this is cos of jx, cos of h of x. Okay, I think it is clear for everybody right now. Any more question you can ask me. Feel free to ask. Okay, then we'll meet in the next Tuesday.